The Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, which took place from 1798 to 1799, marked the final chapter in the long and bitter struggle between the Kingdom of Mysore and the British East India Company. The seeds of this conflict were sown in the aftermath of the previous war, which ended in 1792 with the Treaty of Seringapatam. The treaty, while bringing a temporary peace, left a residue of resentment and mistrust on both sides. For the British, the ambitious Tipu Sultan, ruler of Mysore, remained a formidable threat to their growing dominance in South India. The East India Company, under the governorship of Lord Richard Wellesley, adopted an increasingly aggressive policy towards Mysore. Wellesley was convinced that Tipu Sultan posed a direct challenge to British hegemony. He viewed with growing suspicion Tipu Sultan's attempts to forge alliances with foreign powers, particularly the French. The French Revolution and the subsequent rise of Napoleon Bonaparte had reignited Anglo-French rivalry on a global scale, and India became a key theatre in this struggle for power. The British were particularly alarmed by Tipu Sultan's diplomatic overtures to France. Tipu Sultan, known for his embrace of modern military technology, actively sought French support to bolster his defences against the British. He had even planted a liberty tree in his capital, Seringapatam, and declared himself a citizen of the French Republic, much to the chagrin of the British. This growing Franco-Mysore nexus fueled British anxieties, pushing them closer to a decisive confrontation with Tipu Sultan. Tipu Sultan, often referred to as the Tiger of Mysore, was a shrewd and implacable foe. He had proven his military prowess in previous wars against the British, earning their grudging respect and deep-seated fear. His efforts to court the French stemmed from a pragmatic understanding of the geopolitical realities. He recognized that only a strong alliance with a European power could effectively counter the growing might of the British East India Company. The French, for their part, saw in Tipu Sultan a valuable ally in their contest against the British. Napoleon, then a rising star in French politics, harbored ambitions of striking at British interests in India. He envisioned a French presence in the subcontinent, one that could challenge British dominance and secure French colonial ambitions. However, the French support that Tipu Sultan desperately needed would ultimately prove insufficient. Despite Tipu Sultan's repeated appeals, French assistance arrived in a frustratingly limited form. A small contingent of French volunteers joined Tipu Sultan's army, but the substantial military aid he hoped for never materialized. The French Revolution and the ensuing wars in Europe preoccupied Napoleon, preventing him from committing significant resources to the Mysorean cause. Lord Wellesley, convinced of Tipu Sultan's hostile intentions, moved swiftly to assemble a formidable alliance against Mysore. The British, realizing the importance of exploiting local rivalries, masterfully played their diplomatic cards. They secured the support of the Marathas, a powerful confederacy based in western India, and the Nizam of Hyderabad, a long-standing rival of Mysore. The Marathas, with their formidable cavalry and history of conflict with Mysore, saw an opportunity to reclaim lost territories and weaken a perennial enemy. The Nizam of Hyderabad, eager to avenge past humiliations and expand his own domain, readily joined the British bandwagon. This alliance, a potent mix of British military might and local ambitions, effectively encircled Mysore, threatening Tipu Sultan on multiple fronts. The stage was now set for a final showdown. Lord Wellesley, confident in his superior forces, presented Tipu Sultan with an ultimatum. He demanded that Mysore relinquish its French alliance, cede strategic territories to the British and their allies, and accept the stationing of a British resident at Seringapatam. These terms, designed to reduce Mysore to a state of subservience, were unacceptable to Tipu Sultan. He refused to bow to British pressure, choosing instead to fight for his kingdom's independence. In early 1799, the British-led forces launched their offensive, advancing into Mysore from multiple directions. The Fourth Anglo-Mysore War, brief but decisive, would seal the fate of Tipu Sultan and his kingdom. The British, spearheaded by General George Harris, targeted Seringapatam, the heart of Tipu Sultan's realm. The siege of Seringapatam, a formidable fortress city situated on an island in the Cauvery River, became the focal point of the war. Tipu Sultan, a skilled military strategist, mounted a spirited defense relying on his well-trained army and the fortress's strong fortifications. However, the British, bolstered by their numerical superiority and superior firepower, relentlessly bombarded the city. On May 4th, 1799, a breach was created in the walls of Seringapatam and British troops stormed the fortress. Tipu Sultan, clad in his battle regalia and wielding his sword, fought bravely amidst the chaos, but was ultimately killed, marking the end of his valiant resistance. The death of the Tiger of Mysore sent shockwaves across India. His demise marked the fall of one of the most powerful and stubborn opponents the British had faced in their quest for dominion over India. Subscribe the channel, stay tuned for more history.